Alright guys, it is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023, and it's time for a long overdue update for my 55 projects on the channel. So, oh man, there's been a lot going on, let me tell you. So, first off, for about 6 days, I had an issue with my left hand. It was in the big ball part of my thumb, really severe, sharp, throbbing pain, and then it eventually, after a couple days, worked into my wrist. So, I was even having a hard time getting sleep. It was that bad of pain. So it's a lot better now. Now it's just more of a dull ache and my hand feels kind of stiff. So I don't know if I cracked the bone. I don't know. I didn't go to the doctor. I don't go to the doctor unless I'm bleeding to death or I'm about to die. So anyway, I've done some video clips here and there of stuff on both of these cars, both these 55s, but the computer that I use for my YouTube stuff, when I import my GoPro footage to it, it's a really old computer and it no longer is supported. The platform's no longer supported. I don't know if it's Vista or what it is, Windows Vista or whatever. So anyway, they don't have any updates for it. So now it has like a virus or something and it acts weird when you turn it on and try to do stuff. It's just, you can't do anything with it basically. So I have another computer that I use that I game with, I play Call of Duty on. So I'm trying to figure out editing software and all that stuff on this computer. So if you're seeing this video, I did finally figure it out, but I'm sure I'm gonna be inventing cuss words trying to get the video put on there. So anyway, I've lost some footage because I had already, imported that footage to that other computer and formatted my card in my GoPro, which I usually do every day. So anyway, I'll get you caught up on what's going on. I haven't really done a whole lot to the hardtop. I've drove it a little bit. I've got a new issue that's come up that I think I haven't figured out, but I just haven't messed with it. I still haven't done the flippers. I was actually going to buy the rivet tool for aircraft style rivets because it's not pop rivets that those flippers are made or put together with. So I was going to buy that tool, and it is expensive. It's a couple $100. But I ended up buying a new carburetor instead, and I'm glad I did. But other than putting a carburetor on the car, a new one, and I did do my seat shells. They turned out fantastic. I don't have any wrinkles, ripples, or anything. I don't even have any wrinkles in the side edges of the seats, which it did have before on this part. I was hoping when I put these shells on that the tension that it creates by pushing in on that would make the wrinkles go away, but I didn't get lucky. I ended up having to pull the hog rings out of the frame and re-stretch and re-hog ring, and I had to use the heat gun, but I did get it all lined out. So the interior in the car is done. It's finished. I am very happy about that. So I put a brand new 750 CFM Street Demon on the car. This is the Demon that looks like an Edelbrock, but it is in no way, shape, or form an Edelbrock carburetor. That is a complete redesign, whole new setup. I bought one of these before and had on an El Camino, and I fell in love with that carburetor right out of the box. And same exact thing on this one. Bolted it on here and just instantly fell in love with it. Not really a carburetor I consider something to put on for, going street racing or drag racing with, but as far as a cruiser daily driver type stuff, really, really nice carburetor. So I had to change quite a bit of stuff on it because I went from a Holley style Demon 4150 style carburetor with dual fuel inlets to a single fuel inlet, this style carburetor. So there's quite a bit of changes I had to make, and I'm going to have to make a fuel line for it. I had some cloth covered fuel line with AN fittings before, but now I have to buy some of that cloth fuel line, and I have to buy some straight AN fittings for the carburetor and the fuel filter to make the fuel line go up there. I might have to build it. So what I used was just stuff I had here, which was a piece of fuel hose, a couple of hose clamps, and I had a push lock 90-degree AN fitting, so that's what I put on the filter. That's why the lines going out here above the valve cover look stupid. But at least right now I can get in it and start it up and take it anywhere, drive it if I need to. But I'm going to have to build a fuel line. I haven't bought any of that stuff yet, and I'm not going to. There's a swap meet coming up in Tulsa this weekend, and I want to go see if I can find a pair of exhaust manifolds for the 4-door. So, that swap meet only comes around once a year, so I would rather, with a little bit of money I have left, I would rather buy exhaust manifolds because I can build the fuel line later, you know what I mean? So that's where the hardtop is. That's the update on it. I do have an issue that I'm feeling in the gas pedal. This thing has got you can kind of feel a light little clunk in the front when I either hit the brake or hit the gas. And what I found out is the clearance between the water pump pulley nose cover to the back of the electric fan is no bueno. So I'm going to have to take the hose off, pull the radiator forward, and I'm going to take the nose cover off and just leave it off, I guess. But what's weird is the clearance is about the thickness of a standard cardboard box. You know how the cardboard boxes have this, you know, look right here, you hollow in the center, and it's that thickness. That's about the clearance that I have, maybe a little bit more than that. But after the thermostat's open and the engine's all hot and everything, it's almost touching. So I'm assuming the radiator's getting hot and it's expanding a little bit, and that's what's causing that. I don't know, but it's also after the electric fan comes on. So maybe when the electric fan comes on, maybe it moves that plastic shroud a little bit. I don't know, man. It's weird stuff. So anyway, I have the radiator pulled forward as far as it'll go, and it's just not quite enough. But I did put it's a pulley nose cover that's not really designed for that pulley, and I did put it on there, and that's what's taking up so much space. If I remove it, there'd be a ton of clearance in there, so that's what I'm going to do. But I'm really focused more on the four-door right now. This car, I really want to get this painted pretty soon, so I'm putting a lot of hours in on it, trying to get it to that point. So I did do some body work on the car. The back half of the car is almost ready for primer, but when I do a lot of body work like all day long, I'm usually stove up and my arthritis has flared up for a few days afterwards, so I try to do other little things like engine mock-up stuff, and I try to do some metal work on the fenders and stuff. So it's getting there, we'll say that. But right now I'm focused on trying to make the fenders, you know, patch the rust and get them to where they fit the car better. I had lots of good video clips, man, and I've lost them all, so I pretty much got to start from scratch. But I'll do a little bit more in-depth video of some of the stuff I've done to the fender, because I've built a patch panel and built a patch panel down there and done a little bit of work to this fender. But this fender over here, as you can see, is going to take a lot of work. I ground out somebody's handiwork here last year, and I was basically grinding into it. I wanted to see how bad it was and see if it was something I could build a patch panel on my own, but they've done a number on that fender, and it's going to take a whole nother fender to fix it, which I have. That fender, the whole back of the fender's rusted away. That was at a salvage. Somebody took it off the car, set it down on the end upright, and the headlight cap is mint. So I got that whole fender for like 20 or 25 bucks, which is like a quarter of the cost of that replacement patch panel for these fenders. So that ended up turning out pretty good. But lots of work to do to that fender. I got to fix all their crap they did. It's even worse underneath. This is a fender's off of Bel Air, so they just use body filler in the fender trim holes. This car is a 210, so it didn't have a piece of trim here. So it's only the Bel Airs that had that. So I've got to go in there and grind all their filler out and weld the holes up. Somebody had put an antenna in here, so I started welding it up yesterday, and then I ended up quitting for the day. And it's got a little spot down there I got to work on. The bolts broke off down there. The bolts are broke off for the fender extension. So just, you know, lots of stuff to do there. But I just wanted to give you guys an update video on what's been going on. I spent several days working on the yard because it's springtime. You know, I had to get the yard all ready for the season. I think the worst part was breaking the fitting off on my lawnmower carburetor. That was awesome. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's an update. Just wanted to do a quick one, cut and dry, get you up to speed and why you haven't seen any videos from me. But hopefully I can get this other stuff figured out, this other editing software that's on this computer figured out, and I hope it's not a mess. Computers and me, we don't really get along too well, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I can do a little bit of stuff, but, you know, trying to figure things out from scratch usually takes me a little bit longer, so, and I'll probably end up having to watch a video on how to do it. But anyway, thanks for watching.